Einstein said there's no gravitational force as such. It's all curvature of space and time.
Yeah.
Why is the curvature coming out of string theories? Why? We don't know. So it's the funny thing, as I said to you, you start the theory in 10 flat space-time dimensions, and out comes a curvature. It's a funny thing.
Is it? It is understood well enough. It's not mysterious.
It's not mysterious in the sense that we do it every day, but it's mysterious in the sense that we do not know why it's happening.
Yeah.
So in that sense, all symmetries are in the thing, but we don't know why. We don't know why. We could not have predicted unless we had solved the equations. And this is a new situation for us, very unpleasant situation. So we have to change that, we have to do higher order calculations, we have to see that the thing works properly and so on. And so it's a fascinating stage. Anybody, any young man worth the salt, he should be, if he is minded that way, and he is good in mathematics and so on, he should be encouraged to keep at it for the next 10 years or so. And if he doesn't make any good, then he should go away.
It is not merely just an elegant description of
what we know. Not at all. We don't understand it.
Or elegant economic description of, but it is deeper than that.
Something totally new, which happens to give at the end of the day the same things we've been doing before. But why? We don't know. It's a very, very strange. Of course, it contains much more stuff besides what we know. Many more things. But those we don't care about. We at the moment are worrying about the zero frequency things like the graviton and like the gluon or like the W and the Z and so on, the normal W and Z and the photon. They all come out of the damn thing.
The masses and properties?
No, not yet the masses. But the properties come out. We know how to get, I shouldn't say we know, but we have the possibility perhaps one day of getting the masses and so on. This is a long, long way off yet to get everything out. But the hope is that everything will come out, and so far the one-loop calculations have proved to be finite. And that's the funny thing. So it's really a totally new world which has opened up for the theorists. For the experimentalists, they couldn't care less. No, they're right not to care about it, because if we keep changing our predictions, they can't take any serious notice.
Yeah, but you know, experimentalists, poor experimentalists, what they get to do depends so much on the prestige of what a theorist is saying.
No.
Otherwise they don't get funded these days.
No, that's a great pity. But you see, they don't get funded anyway now. I mean, take the old theories, which we are sure about, the theories of supersymmetry, so-called, and so on, for which we need an SSC, so-called, a big big accelerator of 20 TeV plus 22 EV.
Supersynchrotron or something.
Supersynchrotron, yes. Now that is not being funded in the US, for example. And so it's a very, very serious situation at the moment.
What can one do in terms of astronomy to do experiments which would be of specific importance to particle physics?
Well, one of the best...
Besides the one which astronomers in any case do.
Well, the astronomers can only find abundances, relic particles of the early parts of the universe. Now, they determined that there should be no more than 3 or 4 neutrinos, for example, from the helium abundance in the universe.
Helium being about a quarter of hydrogen.
Helium about a quarter of the universe is...
And supposed to have been made all in the early universe.
That's right, the very early universe. Now, the number of neutrinos depends upon that. This was 3 or 4. Now, experiments found, first time the experiments in the laboratory confirmed something from cosmology, that the number of neutrinos is most likely to be 5.4 plus minus 1.
Sorry? 5.4 plus minus 1?
Yes.
Oh, this is just from the closure, from the acceleration parameter and so on.
That's right.
Otherwise, the total amount of...
No. This is the laboratory experiments on the width of the Z0.
I see.
Which is connected to the neutrino.
Okay.
Now, the 5.4 is, well, it's near a 6 or 4 or something. This is a rather larger number than 3, for example. Now, They re-examined, this is John Ellis and others, they re-examined the data on helium-4 and helium-3, and they find that in fact, according to the new data, up to 6 neutrinos are allowed.
I see.
So that's one thing which will now form a more detailed measurement of the helium abundance, more accurate helium-4 and helium-3 abundance will be called for, which the astronomers could do.
Well, the trouble is where you look, it varies a bit and so on and so forth.
Well, this is one point. The other point I was mentioning again at Bangalore yesterday was the existence of Cygnus X3.
Yes.
This object is giving out in
the
pulses of X-rays, and probably
high energy gamma rays also.
That's high energy gamma rays also, and it's producing muons at the end in the atmosphere. 4.8 hours cycle. It's got the luminosity of 100,000 suns. So it's an incredible accelerator, if you like. And 10 to the 5 TeV, 10 to the 5, it's an
1000 GeV.
1000 GeV. It's an incredible energy with which it's pouring out lots of material. Now, if there could be other such signals, they could be extremely valuable, extremely valuable. So if you really wish to look for astrophysical things.
What about things like neutrino mass?
That's another example of, well, that will provide another very important input among the parameters which will be very useful for our eventual theories. Another place to look for where astronomy can provide stuff is invisible mass.
Yes.
One believes, as you know, that the mass is probably 1/10, the mass now seen. Probably 1/10 of what it is.
You know, some people say that maybe it's in neutrinos.
Maybe it's neutrinos, maybe it's gravitinos, maybe it's photinos, maybe it's all sorts of speculations are made. The precise nature of missing mass, if there is some, would be extraordinarily welcome for our theories. So astronomy can do a lot for particle physics. Another thing on which astronomy could cast a lot of light is the variation of the fine structure constant with time and the variation of the gravitational constant with time.
I know, but what accuracy do you need?
Well, already we know that it's not varying to 10 to the minus 13, 1 part in 10 to the minus 13. We need better accuracies than that. We need something like 10 to the minus 17 or 16 or something.
1 part in 10 to the minus 13.
For G dot or G, for gravitational constant or G, G dot or G.
You know it from astronomical evidence, right? Astronomical and archaeological
and also
geological
arguments, yes.
Yes.
So if you could do better on that, that would be another good parameter.
I don't know how astronomy would do much better than that. Maybe. Measure up to redshifts, what, 5, 10? It's difficult. Redshifts 3, 4, 5, 1 is gone. But
Yes. Well, anyhow, these are various things on which astrophysics and astronomy, early cosmology could help us. But the thing, as I said, was the fascinating vitality of the subject. Incredible.
I think the magnificent part is one is here talking of range of times 10 to the minus 43 to 10 to the 30 years.
10 to the 43 seconds.
Minus seconds to 10 to the 30 years.
Seconds.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. 60 orders of magnitude.
Yes. And forces which...
That's right.
And then everything in the middle is just a consequence.
Everything in the middle is just a consequence.
Is it the only possible world we have, or
well, that's another,
the best possible world we have?
That's another subject on which we don't know, and we would like to know much more. This is the theories of the inflationary universe, and how many universes there are, and if there are other universes, how do you comprehend them at all in the schemes and so on. Then there's the theory of shadow matter. You may be, there is 2 parts of this equation from the strings. Well, I'll just mention the technical names without telling you about them. E8 cross E8 is the sort of group on which we work on. One E8 controls all of life here. The other E8 is only apprehended, it's called the shadow world, it's only apprehended through gravitational forces. So for all you know, there may be a gravitation, the other second E8's mountain here. We are living inside a mountain whose only presence is through.
You know, once talking with my colleague and friend Kausik, and we're discussing, you're talking about neutrino mass, okay?
Yes.
Missing mass and neutrino mass.
Yes.
So if it's turned out that neutrinos do have a mass, a few electron volts, then essentially the gravitational structure
Yes.
and all the potential values and so on is really determined by neutrinos, and the visible universe are just test objects to see how it's distributed.
That's right.
So we are just doing experiments for somebody to find out how the rest of it is doing.
Yes, yes. Now, it's an incredible situation in particle physics, and the great pity is that just now the temper of the societies in the West particularly is turning away from big science, just now, when we have finally broken the code and we have... You see, we are in a totally different phase than when I started physics. When I started physics, there was no coherence at all. There was islands here and island here and islands here, and there was no coherence about the subject. Now we have a coherence. There's a beautiful theory whose parts have to be found from experiment at the present time.
Yeah, but somehow this is the tragedy of modern times. I believe a very deep tragedy.
Yes.
That possibly science has been so successful in applications, in making technology, that we are beginning to forget what science means for being human. You know, in terms of this, I think it's our destiny to be involved in this, if otherwise we're not human.
Yes, but you see,
itself
people
implies.
say, and other scientists in fact say, at what cost? You see, this
I
is the
know,
challenge.
but the cost, I mean, you have mentioned and I have mentioned, the point is, what are your passions?
Exactly.
For following the agendas of yesterday and day before day, what are we spending on things which are not going to take us very far?
That's right.
And so being involved in science is a different matter.
That's right.
And I personally believe that being involved this way has implications which are much larger. I mean, whether it's the appreciation of beauty, culture, even I would say objectification of values.
That's right.
I think they are all part of it.
Well, this is where it's so painful to be on the defensive, honestly, to be able to justify why you should do these experiments and so on. It's a terrible tragedy.
But anyway, it's fun to do it.
Oh, well, certainly it's fun for me to do it.
Yes.
I think I will probably survive till the present set of accelerators is still busy.
Yeah.
But what will happen to our children? That's what worries me. Because we must leave them a legacy of already accepted projects, just as our forefathers did that to us.
Okay.
And that's what's passion, that's the passion which I have.
Well, thank you, Prof. Salam. Thank you very much.